Welcome back, and now it's time for part two, where we'll be discussing media trends. Every week we'll talk about a different media trend, and we have a live show with Talk and Talk. With me in the studio we have Tim, Dennis, and special guest, JD.
Woo!
Welcome to the show, everybody.
It's been a long time to see you. Like, how have you been?
I see you guys almost every week, but never together, right? We're never together. So thank you for once again having.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, James?
I'm doing fine. Not
Okay.
too bad.
I'm not too bad. Because of Corona, the COVID outbreak, I cannot get out, and my kid is staying at home, so don't go to preschool. So it's kind of a little stuffy situation. Okay,
Right.
a really hard job.
Yeah.
Parents.
Are you the babysitter?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Always, I have
You
to.
have to stay at home, right?
I have to dance. I have to play. Okay.
Until the 6th of April,
Of
right? Because they've
course.
extended the
Maybe
year.
more. I don't know.
Oh, no.
Yeah, 6th of April at least. Yeah, that's the problem. At least. You could go further.
How about Team?
Yeah,
You.
Tim, you okay?
It's my guy.
What?
You?
Are you
Oh my-
at university or are you taking a break? I mean, I don't know what Tim is doing these days.
He's getting older.
What
Or
do
you
mean?
graduated
aged.
already?
Yeah, I graduated 2 years ago.
Ah, okay.
Really? You don't like that? Still freshman?
I mean, how can you even tell? I'm not even showing my face.
You have very clear and white skin.
Thank you.
Of course. Oh, shiny.
I really, try to polish my face all the time, just using one of the shades that they're selling in the Gillette company. It really works well with those, car skin surfaces area, whatever. I'm just doing fine. Just went to Chernobyl and say hi to the bunch of radiated animals, and, it was a wonderful time.
Before the show began, just you told me that just right before we die, we can go to Chernobyl, right?
Hey, it's a beautiful place,
You haven't been there?
I saw the pictures.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, shall we get into today's topic?
Sure.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about the role of freelance PDs at GFN and their programs. So here in GFN, we have some freelance producers and they make their own programs. So Daniel is the PD of The Drop with Dano. JD is the PD for the afternoon show. Won Jundal is the PD for the Vietnamese program. And Mao is in charge of Music Plus.
Tim is staring at me. It's quite eerie because Tim is wearing this mask, kind of, I don't know. It's like a horror movie. But yeah, I think it's really awesome. And Xin Chao Vietnam, of course, with Jundal is really good. Not sure if you guys listen on the weekends.
Sometimes.
But
Yeah,
it's really good.
sometimes means no, huh?
How did you know that? Oh,
You're
good.
sleeping. I don't know what time you wake up, right? In the morning.
Yeah.
But around that time you're sleeping. Yeah, so thank you very much for having me here. And I think it's really awesome that GFN has the freelance PDs or producers who actually produce those independent programs, especially since like Jundal is from Vietnam, so he's Vietnamese and he does the show. So it's important to be able to get information out to the listeners and to have that, I think, that intrinsic knowledge that somebody from the community would have. So like Mao or Jundal, and Daniel does a lot of music. He's really into the music, so he does that. And I'm like into K-pop and Hallyu and edutainment, which is how I structure my show, to not just be like not entertainment, just always entertainment, but like to have some education in there. So I think it's super cool that GFN has this initiative.
How many percentage of freelance PD or freelance program you have?
So there's four,
Four.
as I can, from what I know at the moment. There might be some other special programs that they do, and then there's a team of about 6 to 8 producers working in the entertainment team and then in the news team as well. So it's good to have a balance of the people
Right, 50-50,
like out
right?
there. I don't know about 50-50, but maybe like 70-30.
70-30?
But it's awesome, I think.
All right.
Okay, so JD, could you tell us a bit more about what does it entail being your producer, your own producer?
Well, I'm not just the producer. I'm the writer, I'm the host, I'm the editor, I'm the everything. So I have creative control of the show. So I'm kind of the creative director of that. So I spend a lot of time researching. I'm out there, I'm looking for things that are relevant to now. I believe that the show should be a reflection of what is happening right now. Like you cannot have something like super far-fetched, but you have to reflect reality and make it understandable to various different generations of people, because now we don't know exactly, lots of school children listening, parents with their kids, the demographics change per show. So from the morning when you have like Viva DJ to Hello Korea to my show, and then the evening shows, the demographic changes. So you have to understand that first, and then you have to tailor your show to the time as well. Because in the morning, somebody might want some easy jams. They don't want to do too much. There's the new show this morning, or Hello Korea. It's kind of like culture time. And then when it comes to my time, it's lunchtime. You're out and about, you're busy, maybe you're sleepy. And so I'm just like, boom, wake up. Here's the music. Energize yourself for 2 hours to get you back into the afternoon. So it just takes a lot of research. You have to keep your eyes open. You always have to observe. You have to read. You have to be aware of the trends. Also, the social atmosphere, I think. You need to know like what is going on. Like you have to have the kind of nunchi, right? Of the world. So we have to really be careful with the content that you put into a program, because people are quite sensitive. So at this moment with coronavirus, you cannot be super frivolous. You have to be serious, but you also have to entertain, because people don't want to always just hear the same thing. So you have to provide a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of distraction. And then other than that, I think you just have to really target it properly, know your audience, do your research, get the music, and get really amazing guests that bring out the true like value of the show, and that can heighten the show and make people stay interested. So I think that's good. And also, I think these days I do a lot of social media stuff, so I'm doing a lot of interaction offline, because I only have the 2 hours on the show, but online I can interact with the listeners all the time. So the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and so on. So you have to, like, I'm working 24 hours a day. Well, in my world.
So you mentioned all the different jobs you do. What's your favorite part?
Everything.
Everything. Okay.
Everything. I think it's not just one thing. You have to love everything about it, because you can't just switch off. I can't just go, okay, and I'm done now. Because, you know, we live in the 24-hour society, right? So once Korea is sleeping, America, the rest of the world is just like waking up. So I have to know what's going on. What happened? What happened in Brazil? How's the president handling that? What about the cruise ships? How's Europe doing? So I'm always online and always searching. So for me, it's everything. And then I have to like catch up on all the new K-pop and what's happening in Hallyu and the dramas. So it's just like you have to balance it out, but you also really have to have that like passion for it. So I think
Really? You like editing?
editing.
I find editing quite boring.
It depends. You do radio, voice editing, or video?
Not for this,
What kind of
video?
editing?
Video's a
I
little
really love
different,
video
because
editing.
video you have to have the video, you have to sync, you have to do the audio, you have to keep the eye busy. But with radio, you have to entertain the ear and the senses, so it's a little easier.
Okay.
A little easier than
I think the
video.
day is 24 hours per day is not enough. If he really enjoys your life, right?
24시간
모자라.
모자라. Oh baby.
Sigh.
Tim is having a heart attack. I feel like Tim is not a fan of K-pop.
You know that I always miss, you're K-popular. You used to run the show, right? I really miss that show, right?
K-popular.
K-popular. We
Ask the boss. She can bring it back.
No, please.
could be the new host.
With Tim. With Tim.
Okay, we have a really nice chemistry, right, Tim?
All right. If you,
All right, so we're going to take a song break.
thank you.
It's going to be Tim's song, so it's not K-pop. But do you want to introduce it for us, Tim?
This is, classic, really nice style song, unlike K-pop, which only sings about some love and broken relationship all the time. It's a gym class hero, Stereo Heart.
Okay, here it is.
That's not about love.
It's better love song than K-pop.
Okay, so let's keep talking about today's topic. So we've heard from JD about what he does. So Tim and Dennis, have you any opinion about people being their own producer, or do you feel it better if it's a separate?
Well,
Separate
we think, right? We also the kind of freelance guest. So yeah, kind of like that. So I think that there is a lot of benefits of a freelancing job, but one of that is what I like to say is that kind of the more trendy, right? We are kind of from the out of the studio, so that we can we have a kind of your offline connection and a good network and a relationship, and then we just go into the studio and then we can tell what's going on out there, right? So I think more trendy.
I think like also a lot of people are going freelance now. They don't want to be stuck behind their desk from like all the office hours, and people are so multi-talented these days. So like you can do so many different things, and that's why I think many people might even be starting their own YouTube channel, or they might be starting some other projects to make other money, because we're not just one thing. We've been boxed into being like, you're one thing, you have to do this, but you can do so many different things. It's just about time management and like really focusing your time, especially in the time of coronavirus. I think a lot of people are being urged to work from home, right? And so many other different projects. So you always have to keep yourself busy. You have to see that you're more than one thing. And with the freelance position, I think you do have that time. And you also are very responsible, because you have to manage that time.
Sure.
You have to know you have to come here, you have to do this has to be done. You have your time limit. So I think it makes you more productive as well.
Yeah, and right on time.
Because if you have a lot of time to do something, you're going to just put it off and put it off. It's like when you're studying, you're like, I have 3 months to study for my test, but what do? You cram everything like 2-3 days before.
Right.
So it really, as long as you get your schedule right, your time management, you know what you're doing, I think, why do just one thing?
Yeah, you're right. But unfortunately, the kind of for young generation, especially for job seekers, they're always just focusing on kind of how can I say it, the open recruitment of government job, kind of like that.
Yes,
okay.
that's
less
highly coveted.
innovative, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tim, how do you feel? You're quite young. I don't know what exactly you're doing. Are you looking for a job, a permanent job? Are you looking for more freelance? Do you have many interested?
Sir, but I have been an editor to the quite trustworthy company for the past 2 years.
What do you edit?
I usually edit the studying materials for the students who are trying to study
sounds
English.
boring.
Oh, okay.
In a way that I'm more innovative than the other hot ones and other companies, because we actually focus on the reading materials rather than make them memorize vocabularies and other grammar stuff all the time, or just write down the notes on there.
And then, do you do anything else, or is that like your job? Do
They
you have
also
other
make
interests?
me teach stuff. They also make me teach.
Okay.
But other than that, I just do the radio job. Other than that, I don't really have a lot of freelancing stuff. But I thought we were here to talk about how the freelancers can benefit, GFN, and what are their roles. So I would give an opinion on that. Other than quite, useful and, very efficient cannon folders that doesn't really require a lot of payment, I would say.
Okay.
They add a lot of flavors to the company and the organization that we have. Since freelancer comes from the various background, they can provide a lot of feedback in a lot of areas that this company might lack, like you just mentioned. Some Vietnamese program is run by freelancer as well, right?
Of course, yes. I think it's important to be inclusive and diverse, like include diversity and be representative, because I think if somebody from outside of the Vietnamese community was like actually really producing everything, they might miss out on what the community is really wanting, or what the community might really need. So in this day and age, you cannot like just have one representation. You have to include everything, and you have to make it available, because so many different people in Gwangju, in Korea, different languages, people from different cultures and ethnicities here. So you have to represent that. And I think that's like one of the amazing things here at GFN, is that we do have all of these shows, and most of the time when we are putting things out, or what I try to do is to make my show very inclusive, and I have different translations on there, like Chinese or Vietnamese, Russian as well, to represent what is happening and the communities out there. So yes, Tim, flavor. Flavor is important. We don't want just like plain something. We want to add a little spice, a little dash, a little,
I wasn't
from
going
all
that
over.
far, but alright. That sounds about right. Now it sounds like you're talking about the weird ice cream flavors. But yes, that's what I was pretty, going for. That we by hiring freelancers, we get different kind of perspective, point of view, rather than the people that are generally hired by the company.
You're right.
It
But
is-
I mean, like you say that, but like people who are hired and who do work here, they also have a very specific point of view. It's not like they don't. But I
Yes.
think in terms of having programs with different cultural backgrounds, it's very important to have somebody from that specific community or somebody going through that issue to represent that and talk about that to make it more identifiable to the audience.
I think that's a good point. That's with this show. I'm not the producer. I'm not the writer. I'm just the host. And so I like. It's a good thing that we have the ability to trade ideas between us, between the three of us. So you say you're doing everything. So it's your view.
But I have guests as
I know
well,
you
and
have,
I leave that open to them as well.
So I'm
not very
bring in what they
super
want to talk about.
controlling over the content that the guest brings. I ask them. We also collaborate. I ask them what's happening in your life these days. We have a broad kind of framework that we work around, but I never try to pigeonhole my guests into doing something that I want them to do. It has to be their opinion. They have to represent it like authentically who they are. And I always tell them, it's your opinion, you can say whatever you want to. Don't feel shy, don't hide it. So we cover like everything. We talk about everything. I believe nothing should be hidden. And I also don't like pigeonhole and force people to do what I want them to do. It's always a collaboration.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah. So I mean, I like with this show that we're able to discuss and talk about what we want to do and what we want to do in the future. But yeah, I can see with you're kind of doing the same with your guests instead of a PD, right? Because you're allowing your guests to come in and bring their own idea, their own topic, which you can then run with.
Of course, I think it's important. And I always try to structure about what's happening. I always look at the calendar. I'm always looking to the future. Like right now, it's like cherry blossom season. Can we go out? What we're doing? University students, what's going on? International students here. I might ask them their opinion. How do you feel about not being able to go to school right now? Or something like we do structure around something specific happens in the world of K-pop, like lots of suicides. We'll talk about that, bring the topic to the open. World AIDS Day, we have LGBT issues. Like anything that is popping up that is important, I want to hear the opinions of the people actually living that experience and not just like what I have to say. Because like in the end, I'm just there to facilitate. I always look at myself as a facilitator and being able to engage and create and make people enter into conversations. That is more important and be relatable. So
I think Jerry is interested in just so many things, and that there is no kind of bothering or boring thing, right? So that's why I think the freelancing, the position or job is that it works on you, right? So did I. So I just quit the office worker, and I just started because I wanted to be just equally, to get paid on my value. All right. So I'm pretty happy with my life. I can interest and focus many things.
yeah, you have a more flexible
You're right.
schedule.
Yeah,
Spend time with your
of course.
family, or you can do whatever you want to. So I think these days the office atmosphere is changing from like stuck to your desk to having set hours. And you are, like I mentioned earlier, some countries like European countries around the world, they're switching to like a shorter work week so that people can have more of a work-life balance, and that makes them more productive.
Work and life.
You're more productive, I think, when you don't have to spend like 58 hours, I guess, in the office.
Yeah, well, study after study has shown that if you give people control over their life, they tend to be more productive than if you control them and say, you have to be here 9 to 5 every day.
It's like,
One hour for lunch, it starts 12, finishes 1.
I mean, it depends on you as the person. Some people, they do like that structure of being in the office all day. And other people, they like to be freer and they have multiple things that they're doing. You need to go film for your YouTube channel. You need to do this. You need to take care of the kids. You need to like update your mom cafe and your Instagram. And these days, the kids on YouTube, they're making so much money. More than people working in the office by
of the
just
young
opening
generation,
presents.
The young generation, they are just really enjoying to watching YouTube, right? Doing YouTube, right? So I think
So there's new avenues for
new
making
avenue.
money outside of the traditional space.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So unfortunately, we've run out of time.
Really?
Yeah, we're just
Really?
we're just getting talking into about YouTube.
Keep going.
It's okay, we're on YouTube right now. Let's just keep the discussion going.
Oh, I thought it was Facebook.
somewhere. I'm sure they put it on YouTube as well.
Whatever.
Okay, so that was all for our Talk and Talk segment with Tim, Dennis, and special guest JD. Thanks for coming in, guys. Really appreciate you taking time out of your
Thank you
busy
for having
schedules.
us.
Yeah, we'll see you all next week.
All right, see you next
Except
week.
me.
I'll give
You
Yeah,
can
except
see me
you.
every day.
Yes.
12 to 2.
Okay, okay. Promoting your show. That's good.
Why not?
Why not? Why not?
Sell
Okay,
out.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks, guys.
수고하셨습니다.
Thank you.
You're a nice talker.